All right, the next region that we're going to be discussing is going to be the inner quad and the VMO, which is your vastus medialis, and then the connection to your adductor. So similar again to how if our legs tend to be splayed out in one direction and that causes tightness in one part of our leg, namely the outside and the IT band, there's going to be a corresponding tightness that comes on the inside of the leg too that we want to make sure that we address. So again, this tends to be a pretty intense release for a lot of folks, and you're probably going to notice that there's more tightness on one side of your body than the other here, which is okay. One thing to note is that it's going to be very common that if you have a really tight IT band on one side, you're likely going to have a really tight adductor and VMO on the other. That's related to your body's ability to weight shift and the compensations that can be created from favoring one side more than the other. So try to be cognizant of that, and if that means you're spending more time releasing one side than the other, that's totally fine. It's going to be based on your feel here. But getting back to the release, we want to make sure with the VMO and the adductor again that we're starting low right above the kneecap and we're following the line all the way up effectively to the inside of our hip flexor. So this is another ground-based release where we'll come onto the ground here and we'll have our top leg splayed above and our inside leg straight running backwards. This is going to help us apply the maximum amount of force that we can onto the ball. So initially, I'll drop it under my kneecap and then come forward and rotate and twist away and begin applying pressure. You can play around with rotating this femur in more and more and then getting even onto just the straight quad away from the adductor as need be. And we can progressively roll our way down. And when we find a spot, remembering to stop, press in. We can even curl the leg to apply more force as we need to, and remembering to breathe easy the whole time and taking our time whenever we find a trigger point. A minimum of 30 seconds on each spot within the muscle, but ideally more than that.